Hi guys, good morning. Today I'll be showing you how to make buttermilk Christmas cookies. Um, so to proceed, I have my butter. I already opened the butter, but this one is sealed. It's closed. It's the Nature Promise organic butter. It comes in a pack of four sticks in one. 4 sticks in one. This is how it comes. Pack of 4 sticks in one, and a cup of milk, some organic sugar, Florida crystals, organic sugar, and this is my greaser for the pan. It's the olive oil, extra virgin olive oil non-stick spray. So I'm going to be spraying it on my pans, and I'm also going to be using some powdered milk to get that buttermilk taste. So if you're familiar with the shortbread biscuits, the ones that is sold in the pack of in a red pack, it has a lot of milk, but it's not the kind of regular milk. It has a unique taste, and the only taste I can get that is close to what I get from it whenever I make the cookie is from this milk, powdered milk Nido. So I'm going to be using a lot of that, and of course I have my gold medal multi-purpose flour. Okay, so you'll be watching me make buttermilk cookies from scratch with a bunch of ingredients. So this is a pan. I'm gonna be scooping some flour into the pan for the mixture. So one scoop. This is the scoop I'm using. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. 6. So this is the cookie I make for my kids. They take it to school. And this is number 7. I don't get them the already made cookies. I make all my cookies from scratch. You know, very economical and safe to eat. It's safe. So I have 7 scoops of that. I have 7 scoops of that, of this measuring cup. Next, I will be scooping in some powdered milk. I have 7 here. I'll be getting 5 scoops of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course 5. You want to have a lot of this because you want the cookie to have that buttermilk, that delicious creamy milky taste. Okay, and then I will get my I'll get a spatula to mix it up. mix them all up. So in this bowl, I will get 2. It all depends on how much sugar you like. I don't really like so much. So 2 or 1.5. 1.5 is okay. My kids don't really take so much sugar. So 1.5. 1.5. Of this mixed sugar, organic Florida crystal. I will mix it with the milk and heat it. So I have the milk heated already. I put it in the microwave for a period of 2 minutes. So to give way for the sugar to melt properly, I will let it cool down. So let it cool down a little bit before adding it to the dried flour and the milk. I'll also melt the butter. I'm going to be melting the butter. I like the organic butter because it's more it's a little bit pricey, but I mean it's better than having the unhealthy butter in your system. You know, you want to all I'm advocating is healthy living, healthy lifestyle, healthy food, and everything that you know that can support your good health is what I'm approved to. You know, I'm advocating that you eat your fruits and vegetables. When you eat snacks, or maybe you feel like you want to cheat, also cheat with some healthy stuff. You know, healthy stuff. Most of the food you have in the shelf are unhealthy simply because of the shelf life that they have to preserve it for, and then so they don't run into costs of wasting money and, you know, the food getting spoiled because nobody's going to buy them. So they tend to leave it, give it a shelf life for maybe like 5 years, 10 years, and at the end of the day, most of those things are not healthy. May not be up to 10 years, maybe like 2 years, you know, or 3 years, and who knows, it may not be as healthy as it should for your system to accept. But I'm going to put this in the oven, not in the oven, I'm sorry, in the microwave, and I'll come back for this one once it melts so I can have everything mixed together. Once it melts, I'm going to have my spatula to mix all my ingredients. You can see the sugar is now down. I have to keep stirring so it doesn't congeal or get stuck in the bottom of the bowl. You see? Why people say that eating healthy is expensive? I think it may be expensive, but you want to consider having healthy stuff in your system rather than having unhealthy stuff in your system, because at the end of the day you don't know excuse me, because at the end of the day you don't know what you're putting into your system that can cause issues for you. So I would say it's better to be safe than sorry. Also, putting the right food in your system is more important than anything else, you know. So that's why I have a bunch of things that I want to introduce to you guys. Although it may be expensive, I don't think it's expensive. You know, over time you get used to it, because the benefits, if you look at the nature and say it's more expensive to eat healthy, then I mean it's cheap to become sick. It's really cheap to become sick. How do you become sick? You buy the burger, you buy unhealthy stuff, you buy the processed stuff, you buy the things in the can, I mean in the things that have been processed and kept, you know. And like the cookies already made, you know, they're in the box for how many years? Those are things that you have to consider, you see, before you start thinking of what should I do? How do I live my life so I don't get a bunch of chemicals in my system, and then my kidneys will now have to go through so much to process the toxins out of my system. So it's cheaper to eat healthy if you look at it in the real sense of it. All right, let me take a look at the microwave and see where the butter is at, and I'll come back to you guys. So now the milk and the butter, they are ready. I have the butter looking like this. It's already melted. I'm going to be mixing it up together with the flour. So here we go. Here's the melted butter. Remember, it's buttermilk, so that's why you should have this much butter. And of course the milk. I want to use the spatula to scoop out all the remaining of what we have, you know. Sorry about that, this noise coming from the TV. So we'll mix it up. Make sure to have a consistency that is not too dry and not too fluffy. Not so dry and not so fluffy. I know I need a mixing bowl, but yes, I'm going to get that soon. It's just a quick video to help you guys see and know how to make buttermilk cookies. So my kids, what they do whenever I'm making this buttermilk cookie, they come and they try to stick their finger to eat the dough. The dough is really delicious, you know. It's a delicious dough. So try to stop them. So the consistency is looking like what it should be. Remember, we don't want it to be too fluffy and too dry. We want it to be at a medium consistency. I'm going to put it on the table so I can use the roller. I already cleaned the table. I'm going to clean it again so you guys can see. I'm going to wipe it down. It does smell buttery and milky at the same time. So this is what we want to have. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down the table. All right. And then we dry it up. We want to have a dry surface so the flour won't stick on the table. We go ahead and put a little sprinkle of flour as we spread on the surface of the table. And here's my roller. Give it a little bag of flour also, and then I'll scoop out the amount I need on the table. At this point in time, don't be afraid to get your hands messy. You know, cooking itself involves making a lot of mess. So yeah, be comfortable with doing this. So you can see the consistency that we have is something we can work with. It's not sticking on the ruler. You don't want it to be too flat. You want to have a nice size cookie, you know. All right, you can see the butter in the roller. Okay, at this point I will grease my pan. So this is the pan I'll be using. I've already washed it. I'll be greasing the pan a little because the butter is still not going to make it. It's not going to make the. It's not going to make the cookies stick to the pan. So I just use a little greaser to grease the pan, and I'll get my cookie cutter, and then we'll start cutting it out and putting them in the pan. Okay. So I have my cookie cutters here. I'll be using them to make the shapes that I want for the cookie. I go like this. Pretty much it's easy when you have the right shapes that you want in your cookie cutter. The biggest challenge you would have is coming up with a perfect consistency, you know, coming up with the right kind of consistency that you use to keep your cookie in shape. So I'm picking them all up and I'll be setting them in my cookie, my pan, in my baking pan. They can be really fragile. I'll let you see what it looks like in the pan once I'm done. It's just that my table is a little bit so small to have the pan and the doughs together. All right, here we go. I have some more heart shapes. I'll just go ahead and make more hearts, and I'll do some more circular shapes, circle shapes, circle shapes, circle shapes, circle shapes. I love making cookies from scratch, you know. It's something that I would do every day around the clock. Actually, I make cookies more than 2 times in a week because my kids don't even let these cookies last a day or 2 because they love it. Okay, I hope this one's not stuck. Okay, let me get the other one. So this is what I have already, you know, when I was cutting the cookies with the cookie cutter, I was putting them in a baking pan by the side. This is what we have here. And I already set the microwave, I already set the oven for 350 to heat at 350. So this is what I have, and it will be going into the oven once the preheat time is set, and then we'll leave it there for a period of maybe 10-15 minutes. We don't want it to get overcooked. We don't want it to get burnt. Not overcooked. We don't want it to get burnt. Okay. So yes. So this is what it looks like once I was done cutting with the cutters. Yeah. Once again, I want you to see that it is really easy to make your homemade cookies. It's easy, it's cheaper, and you know, it's safe. When you're eating something, you want to make sure you're eating the right food, the right diet. You want to be on the right diet. So you don't want to have something you're not too sure of in your system. I myself am particularly sure. I'm always worried when it's time for me to eat and I'm eating outside. I want to make sure that the environment the food is prepared is good. I want to make sure the food has whoever prepared the food is really conscious of being, the food is hygienically prepared. Here you hear the beep. That's the oven. It's time to get the cookies into the oven. All right, let's get these cookies in the oven. All right, the cookies are in the oven. We'll set it in for a period of 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be back to see what they look like. All right, guys, so we are back. I took the cookies out, and here is what it looks like. You can see cookies are already cooked. I will be using, it's still hot, so I don't want to touch the pan. It's really hot. So I'll be using the pre-made icing. I already looked at the ingredients. It's safe. It's safe. So pre-made icing, the white and the green, because it's Christmas. Get a knife to cut it open. It's a pre-made icing. So this is what the cookie looks like after it has been decorated. Remember, it's still has some sprinkles in it. Okay, so it has, looks like this. Okay, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and also comment. Merry Christmas.